Hello, new Stoics. This is Tim, and this is Daily Stoic. And today we're going to get back into the Enchiridion by Epictetus, and I'm going to cover 20, 21, and 22. And if you want to follow along, just grab a copy and let's get into it, and then we could discuss these topics a little bit. Remember that it is not he who gives abuse or blows who affronts, but the view we take of these things as insulting. When therefore anyone provokes you, be assured that it is your own opinion which provokes you. Try therefore in the first place not to be bewildered by appearances, for if you once gain time and respite, you will more easily command yourself. So I'm just going to stop in between the chapters so we can kind of describe these things. So this is basically saying that we don't need to be offended by our opponent's insults. We don't need to physically or mentally react to what our opponents are saying, because that makes us an easier target. What we need to do is stay strong. When they say something, you just let it go. Even if it's physical blows, even if they're actually assaulting us, we stay strong. You have courage, and you don't let them hurt you, especially mentally. If we're talking about actual physical blows, we need to prepare ourselves for such a thing so that we can protect ourselves. And that kind of goes into the concepts of courage and justice that are very important to Stoics. And this is the same kind of thing is having courage to not be affected by our opponent's insults, and having courage to protect ourselves and withstand blows from our opponents. Okay, so this is 21. Let death and exile and all other things which appear terrible be daily before our eyes, but death chiefly, and you will never entertain an abject thought, nor too eagerly covet anything. So this is going into two things. One, we've already discussed how Stoics view death, and unlike some other philosophies, death is just a normal part of life, and it's not so bad. We are, it can happen to anyone at any time, and we should be prepared to die and not worry about it. It should be something that is always playing in our minds, like as almost as a calming thing, because we could look at it. If life is really getting too hard, it's still an option for you. It's still there. And as in the modern perspective, it may sound a little disturbing, but it is not always as bad as you think it is. It's quick. It's lights out. And then it's nothing. Then no more suffering. Then no more pain. Then no more insulting. Now, I'm not taking this as condoning suicide or anything, but it's more or less how we view the world and how we should just accept death as being normal. So this last part, 22. I kind of feel this right now, and I think anybody else watching that's a student of philosophy will understand what I'm talking about. If you have an earnest desire towards philosophy, prepare yourself for the very first to have the multitude of laugh and sneer, and say, "He has returned to us a philosopher all at once. And whence this supercilious look? Now for your part, do not have a supercilious look, indeed, but keep steadily to those things that appear best to you, as one appointed by God to this particular station. For remember that if you are very persistent, those very persons who at first ridiculed will afterwards admire you. But if you are conquered by them, you will incur a double ridicule. So this is something that popped up to me quite a bit and still does. I'm not claiming to be that knowledgeable of philosophy. I'm still a student. I feel like even some PhDs are still students, as there's very much to learn and understand, and some concepts take a long time to really get. But when I started getting into Stoicism, I've had a few remarks from people saying, "Oh, here's the Stoic, here's the mighty Stoic," and this has more to do with the colloquial word Stoic versus what a Stoic actually is in the philosophic sense. So the Stoic is, just calling yourself a Stoic, it automatically gives you this kind of air of arrogance that you don't let emotions affect you. You don't let you're robotic. You're like a Vulcan or something, and you're it's almost this feeling like somebody's better than you, I guess. And so I trying to take on this title of Stoic. People have almost mocked that to an nth degree, because they remember times where I may have overreacted, or I appeared angry or something like that. And that's fair enough, and that's actually really nice thing that somebody would try and correct my course. But the reality is, we instead of getting upset by that, I just accept that that's going to be a thing that's going to happen. If I'm calling myself a Stoic, there's going to be a lot of people who's going to be skeptical on that. They're not going to believe me, or they're going to second guess almost everything I say to see if I'm a real Stoic or not, whatever that means. So we need to kind of not react to that, and to keep studying, keep learning what it means to be a Stoic, or what it means to be whatever you believe in, to be a good Christian, or be a good son or father, or anything that's important. Be a good mother, be a good daughter, be a good cook, do anything that we're doing. And even if you get to a level where you're competent in what you're doing, don't let other people drag you down by saying that you are not this thing that you claim to be, or you're not the ideal version of this thing that you claim to be. Take it more as a challenge. Say, I am not, and therefore I will learn more. I will be better. I will strive to be better. So that's my daily Stoic today. I really hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I'm going to keep going with Enchiridion probably throughout the week. And then next week I would like to get into the meditations of Marcus Aurelius. And we'll go from there. Hope everybody's having a good one.